You're entering the Blitz with your host, Matt Maldonado, on Madness4life News. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Matt Maldonado, here in FEMA Region 9, Las Vegas, and this is the Blitz Madness4life News, and it's podcast number 54 and episode number 25. It is September 25th, 2012. Actually, I'm doing this the 26th of September. I'm still a little late because I am starting to work now, so I'm going to be doing fewer and fewer of these next month because the Blitz is almost over. I have only about a couple more days. The 1st of October is the last podcast of the Blitz, not the very last podcast of Madness4life News. Hopefully soon this podcast is going to turn over to the vodcast, what I've been trying to do for months. So basically getting into all of these news here today. This is from the Drudge Report, or actually Drudge Report picked this up. It's actually from thehill.com. Man Bear Pig strikes again. Gore to lead current TV debate coverage. Former Vice President Al Gore, who systematically put in NAFTA and GATT, as well as also the carbon taxes in California and also in Australia. But hey, that's okay. One of the biggest con men in the world, who 12 years ago was talking lock boxes while debating then Texas Governor George W. Bush, will be analyzing the first presidential debate between President Obama and GOP nominee Mitt Romney. Current TV announced Wednesday that Al Gore, who serves as the liberal leading cable outlets vice president, will head up its coverage of the October 3rd debate in Denver. Oh yeah, he leads the way in cable outlets, while actually most of those outlets actually hardly anybody watches. Nobody watches it. Current TV, hardly anybody watches it. Especially the young Turks. But hey, that's neither here nor there. And they'll say, well, no one listens to your podcast. You're maybe right. Continuing, Al Gore will lead a round table featuring other current TV hosts, including former Michigan governors Jennifer Granholm, former New York governor Elliot Spencer. He was only in it for like 3 months. Sorry, I got something lodged in my throat. According to a statement from the network, that's you can see all of the correspondence with Mr. Man Bear Pig on the Hill. So if you want to check that out, go to Drudge Report. Click the link. Here we go. The next article here right now. Clinton, others announce contraception deal. This is from the New York Times of Europe. United Nations AP, former President Bill Clinton and other world leaders are announcing that prices for long-acting contraception will be hefty for 27 million women in the developing world through a new partnership. This is a very big deal, and it will play itself out over and over again in the lives of citizens who will be saved, who will have healthier families, and who will live longer lives. That's a lie. Clinton said at the UN Wednesday, flanked by the leaders of Norway and Nigeria, even though actually in the end, most of those people will be killed, not really having longer lives. But that's okay. Hey, it doesn't matter. Continuing here, Bayer Healthcare, the maker of the progestin implants, has agreed to reduce their price by more than half in exchange for a 6-year purchasing commitment from a coalition made up of the Norwegian, British, U.S., and Swedish governments, the Clinton Health Access Intensive, and the Children's Investment Fund Foundation. And that is it for that article. Next article. Click the wrong one. Here we go. From the Washington Times. This is still from the Drudge Report. CEO now see a gloomy third quarter drop growth exception. Uncertainty over the impending fiscal cliff and lower demand overseas. An association of CEOs from top companies on Wednesday dropped its growth exceptions for the third quarter to the lowest level since the mid of the Great Recession. The Business Roundtable lowered projections for sales, capital spending, and hiring in its latest CEO economic outlook survey to the lowest level since 2009. The fiscal cliff, an end of the year deadline for a long-term budget deal between Republican and Democratic lawmakers, has businesses putting off hiring and spending decisions because they don't know that to expect in the coming months and years, said Jim McNary, the CEO of Boeing, who also heads the Business Roundtable. This complete Mexican standoff that we have now is not getting us anywhere, he told reporters. Business Roundtable President John Inger called it a fiscal Everest. This is something that regrettably needs to be addressed, Mr. Inger said. This is the same problem the NFL is having. Oh, good God. The players aren't quite clear how to play the game because the refereeing is so bad. They're still talking about that. They're never going to stop talking about that. Like, who cares? I mean, who cares about the NFL? I mean, really, who cares? Just get rid of it. I mean, I'm getting sick and tired of the NFL. I mean, really bad. I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting sick and tired of baseball, basketball. I'm just getting tired of it. Your country's failing right now. Quit watching football. I mean, really quit it. Continuing here, Mr. Inger argued lawmakers to take action now to avoid the automatic spending. To avoid the automatic spending cuts and tax increases set to kick if no deal is made. We can lead, but you can't lead by not making decisions, he said. Only 58% of the CEOs who respond accept sales to increase, down from 75% last quarter, while the number of CEOs who expect a decline in sales nearly tripled to 15% due to large part to weaker demand in Europe and China. Companies are also slowing capital spending and hiring because of uncertainties are also slowing capital spending and hiring because of certainties in the U.S. tax and regulatory environments. Only 30% expect to increase spending, down from 43% last quarter, while 19% plan to cut back on spending, up from 12%. Meanwhile, only 29% expect to boost hiring, down from 36%, while 34% expect to make layoffs or other declines in employment, up from 20%. All right. That's it with that article. Next article right now, the last article of the day of this podcast. From the Washington Examiner. The Examiner from Washington. Sebellius, that's Kathleen Sebellius, to hit campaign trail again after Hitch Act violation. Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebellius will soon be back to doing what she does best, campaigning for President Obama. Sebellius will travel to New Hampshire this weekend for a swing of grassroots events with Obama. According to the New Hampshire union leader, the campaign trip comes after the Office of Special Counsel found the Sebellius had violated federal campaign law by campaigning for Obama during an official event. OSC concluded that Secretary Sebellius violated the Hitch Act, which when she made temperances partisan remarks in a speech delivered in her official capacity on February 25th, 2012. The investigator explained the Hitch Act prohibits federal employees from using their official authority or influence to affect the outcome of an election. During the Human Rights Campaign gala this year, Sebellius called for North Carolinians to re-elect Obama and vote down a ballot intentive that would define marriage as a union of one man and one woman. Because heaven forbid you actually have a society about one man and one woman. It doesn't matter about the fact that it shouldn't matter who people marry, but no. If you even say it's a family supposed to be between a man and a woman, yeah, that's called homophobia. You're homophobic now, and you're afraid of those gay people, but instead it's actually those straight people that are bad, and we got to get rid of them. And even though it destroys societies, but you pay that no mind. Hey, you either pick up a history book and understand why this stuff is happening, or you become a slave. Continuing here. Sebellius was speaking at the event in her official capacity as the HHS head. The Democratic National Committee embraced the HHS for the expense of her trip after Sebellius made her stomp speech for the president. Sebellius took issues with the OSC investigation. I believe that you should have concluded that any violation was corrected when the event was reclassified as political. She wrote in a letter to OSC if there was a violation of the Hitch Act based on the use of my title, I believe the violation was technical and minor. These are not the type of violations that the Hitch Act is intended to address. Yes, it does, but that's all right. And that is it for this podcast. If you want to subscribe to me, or you can actually give me a dirty comment saying what's my problem or whatever, you can write down at the very bottom, or you can also hit that subscribe button, and you can follow me on the links below. You can become my friend on Facebook or a fan on Facebook. So you can also follow Close to Modern. They're also on Facebook and Twitter and others. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me and tolerating me today, and God bless America.